Good evening, folks. Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here, joined by Curse's master Reeplcheep for some opposition agent action. Reeplcheep, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay.
All right, so when everyone saw this spoiled, if you're a legacy player, the first place that you thought about this was in Curses because it's already a Dark Ritual Black Prison deck. Give us briefly some of your thoughts on opposition agents so far.
So the first thing about it is that on a very basic level, it's a Magus of the Blood Sun, which is already playable in Legacy. So if you know what plugs this, if you played on turn one and they kept a handful of fetches, they probably lose. So that's always nice. The second part, that's because they're relying on the fetches to find their lands. If they can't use that, if they try to do that, they just give you a free Sylvan Scrying. So
Yeah. And
that's
there's
always nice.
also some combo decks that you will randomly hose by sticking this thing in play.
Yeah. So the premier, so this card is absolutely destruct crazy against Doomsday, which is the premier non-creature based combo deck at the current time. And if you Doomsday with that out, the opposing player loses half their life, and you get to steal your five favorite cards from their deck, and they exile their entire library, and they discard a card. So that's pretty nice, and you get a 3/2. So pretty good.
So,
Also, this deck has, other than blue decks, this deck sometimes has trouble with fair green decks, and this card is extremely good if played against crop rotation, Knight of the Reliquary, and Green Sun Sea.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. No, Red Hot. The bugs with this deck have been patched out. So, Cruel Reality no longer kills you. No worries there.
So Opposition Nation still has a minor bug. It still steals the card, which is the most important part, but it does. If you dig down and deep into the comprehensive rulebook, when you're controlling them, you should be able to see stuff they are able to see, notably their hand and any morph cards they have. So you don't get the peak that you should be getting when the opposition agent steals something, which is
That's
probably
okay. If you get the gotcha moment, a lot of times, like, that's enough to win the game almost on the spot.
yeah. And the third thing that's interesting is that it's, as far as I know, basically the only playable hate piece that you can cast off of a dark ritual at instant speed. So the fact, as you said, the gotcha effect is something that most stompy decks don't have, which is sort of, I'm still figuring out how to play around it, but has definitely been a lot of fun.
So let me ask you a question, and this comes from a lot of time playing with Aven Mind Sensor. So you're on the play, it's turn one. You have Dark Ritual Opposition Agent. Do you cast it on your main phase, or do you wait until their turn?
That has come up multiple times, and I've gone either way, and sometimes and either answer can be wrong. Generally, I evaluate how badly I need their land. If I need their land, I'll go for the gotcha. If I don't need the land and I have other things to do, I'll just go for the lockout. So
Okay,
basically, just balancing, trying to evaluate. I'm very bad at this, but trying to evaluate how important the land drop is for them versus how important the steal is for me.
okay, that makes a lot of sense. I was wondering whether or not you've had enough reps with it to kind of have that heuristic built in yet.
I'm not sure here. That's definitely an interesting question that will come up for sure.
All right. So Skullclamp, our guest is Reeplcheep, who is the primary curses pilot. Some other people are picking it up now, but Reeplcheep is doing all of the heavy lifting as far as tuning goes.
Yeah, yeah. So in basically the story of the deck is in January, he filled it a few dono decks and improved it just a little bit, and I thought it looked quite promising and refined it over the last year or so.
All right. And speaking of refining, the sideboard essentially is the same as before with our Karn tutor targets, but since some of the stuff like Plague Engineer or Murderous Rider that might have been in the main deck before, those had to get shoved to the sideboard because of the inclusion of Opposition Agent in the main deck.
Yep. And then the last change is just if anyone has played Ashiok and Pox, If you're trying to turn their fetches off, turning their fetches back into swamps is generally a bad idea. So we just had to cut the Urborgs for Field of the Ruins, which have a positive combo with Opposition Agent. If you activate a Field of the Ruin with Opposition Agent in play, they are forced to search, which may have come up in some mill streams ThrabenU did recently.
Indeed, it
Um,
did.
so Field of Ruin reads 2 mana, sacrifice it. You get to find a swamp and to replace the Field of Ruin, and you also get to, and they lose a land, and you get to draw a land from their deck.
Okay. I'm also just going to do the idiot proof thing. I didn't actually read this card, so just to read this for chat. Opposition Agent is a 3/2 with flash for 2 and a black. You control opponents while they're searching their libraries. And when an opponent is searching their library, they exile each card they find. You may play those cards for as long as they remain exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast them. All right, let's go ahead and hop into things. Hopefully we'll get a quick 5-0 with this, but we'll see how it goes. It should be fun either way.
Yeah, I've been trying to jam this on Saturday challenges, and the meta is very blue, which is not exactly what the deck wants to see. But generally, I go around. I get pretty consistent, sort of 60% win rates, and end up at the bottom of the top 32.
Yeah, and honestly, if you can do that consistently with a brew, I consider that a huge success.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very happy.
Yeah, so a side advantage of playing a deck like Rug Delver is that there's so many different minds going and working on that deck. But when you're
Mm.
playing a brew, it's just you most of the time.
Yeah, so that's why I'm very happy to see there's stomping pilots like Nathan Lippitz pick it up, because hopefully they'll, well, with combined minds, we can try and improve some of the matchups.
This feels far too fair to me. I think this is a mulligan.
I would keep this, I think, on the play, but on the draw, it's pretty slow.
Okay, so we
So it's
oh we
turn
tied the first die roll, and then we lost the second die roll. Yeah.
on the play. I think turn 2 Chalice into turn 3 into strip 9 could be good enough.
Yeah, but I think we pitched this ultimately.
Yeah, I think it's just a little slow. Ouch.
Yikes.
Yeah.
This is not a playable hand, unfortunately.
Yeah. Nope.
This is a pretty good 5-card hand, though, I think.
Yeah. I like it.
So what are we throwing back?
Depends on if you want power versus consistency. I think we pitch swamp and predation.
Okay, that was my inclination as well.
So we just hope that turn 2 agent's good enough.
Feels like Reanimator. Oh, no. Mountain? Huh. Well, this is gonna do things. Our opponent discarded their hollow one. That's good news for Phil fans. Palaka Predation being a land in addition to a spell is so huge right now.
Yeah, this is the consistency I was talking about.
Nice!
That's actually a really nice draw. So yeah, we're gonna play Plaka and be very happy that's not an ensnaring bridge.
At least their hollow one didn't hit play. That's kind of a big deal. Okay, that one's just them. They discarded a hollow one.
Okay.
All right,
If we
we've
draw
gotten a
Dark Ritual,
little
we win.
lucky here.
We definitely live by RNG, win by RNG.
I don't
Can
think
we
we have
try?
any reason to Palaka Predation them, right?
No. The only question is agent or tap. Because we're winning this game through Curse of Misfortunes.
Oh, I see. So you want to like play towards that rather than lose the City of Traders this turn cycle.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure if stealing a land is really that good against a deck like this.
Okay, I could buy that. Let's play this tapped.
Yeah, that's yeah. That was not my initial plan, but seeing there's some sort of brew, I think the only way that with lots of recursion, I think the best way to win is just try and get humility as fast as possible before they make us draw it.
Yeah, so these sorts of lists are not common in Legacy because you can do what they're doing in a more consistent, fair way by playing something like Hogak that doesn't involve introducing an RNG element into it. And like what we saw this hand is twice our opponent had hollow ones, but they discarded them rather than like actually got to cheat their 4/4 into play.
Now, if they use that fetch to flashback looting and that wins the game, I'll look stupid, but I still think playing towards curse is best.
Yeah, there's also no guarantee that they're going to have a fetch land specifically after the sequence we saw in other turns. Our ley lines are going to be great though.
Yes, let's be good. Do they have actual dredgers?
Oh, they have some basking root wallers, but no Vengevines or anything.
Yes, the ox is a lot. Without dredgers, the ox is a lot scarier than a gek. A lot less scary. I think we just jump.
Yeah, I think we just play a city and then plan on trading agent for Ox.
It does let them ox again.
The escape 8 though.
Oh yeah, you're right. We're fine. I I didn't. I've only seen that card in dredge, so I'm just like they always have enough cards to do it again.
Oh, oh, ah,
Yeah,
yeah!
that got that got our fifth Manosaurs.
That's so good.
So,
All right, we'll take the old art taiga here.
do you wanna now that you might have wanted to screenshot the list, but
Nah, that's working too
it's
hard.
Jag versus Jag. We just gotta harder the cards, I guess. One thing I will mention,
Are you still on board with blocking the Ox?
yeah, there's no way they're getting 8 cards in the graveyard, right? This turn.
It would be difficult. It would be difficult to do that plus also recast
True.
it.
Yeah. Well, then I think just keep her life total as high as possible. Also, it's kind of weird, but Splendor really doesn't like +1 counter effects. So killing the creature with the +1 counter is usually correct, which is something you might not have think of if you haven't played with Humility.
Oh, there's an anger in there. Neat.
Yeah, well, you just
Oh, that Chrome Ox is actually pretty interesting. So we don't have to lose the City of Traders this turn if we don't want.
yeah, I think the having one that gives us one extra mana next turn. I think
Yeah.
important than having a third agent.
I will enchant you with the Curse of Misfortune. Your move.
So yeah, so as I was saying earlier, the bug is pretty irrelevant in most situations, but in paper, when that happens, you should have been able to peek at their hand, not just their deck. Uh,
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, yeah, I would do either humility. Death Soul's pretty good on this board too, but I would just pick one.
I think we just
Oh,
take the Overwhelming Splendor so we don't accidentally draw it.
yes, definitely. You're right. I didn't think about this being a Burning Inquiry deck. I think the Splendor's correct.
Oh, when we drew another Curse of Misfortunes.
Uh, might as well cast that. That technically increases the clock by a turn, but I don't think it really matters at this point.
Yep. Good game.
We got I will say though that oh, it didn't end up mattering actually.
That's just the hard cast a 1/1 line. That's a feel bad. Oh, kinda is donating for some shenanigans. Doot, 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 doot. Kinda, thank you very much for supporting the stream. Very much appreciated. Sorry, opponent. Pick up Verse of Death's Hold to wipe the board, and then we get Cruel Reality. Oh, and now a Chalice. That's fantastic. I don't think our opponent has outs to this. Chalice on 1
Yeah, I don't know.
just stops like Faithless Looting from digging for whatever fringe answer they might have.
So yeah, I think you're fine at this point.
Just hold up Agent.
Yeah, I would just hold up Agent. They can stall for a while with Ox because Ox will be a 1/1 with the counter on it instead of a 0/0. But they'll eventually die.
All right, yeah, our opponent just scoops it up there. What are your thoughts on sideboarding?
So I generally can versus GAC. I think everything except cards are good and eliminates. Even cards are fine. I do you think Plague Engineer, two Plague Engineers, Zombie are often a lock against GAC, but probably aren't as good here. Um,
We could. So I think Karn and maybe Trinisphere are some of the weaker cards here.
Trinivir is pretty good against Hollow One as well as the other
Oh,
one.
I guess that's true.
Man, it interacts pretty well with all the madness free things.
I want to have the Plague Engineers in, I think.
Yeah, I can see Plague Engineer being better than Eliminate.
I'm I'm kind of inclined to cut the Karns, get the Plague Engineers in,
I think
and
okay, and
then run the fourth Helm somehow.
yeah, maybe cut 2 eliminates for Helm and Bridge. Like it's not horrible, but
Yeah, I mean
all the
this
stuff
isn't going to
matters.
kill the Ox, and it's not going to kill the Hollow One, and those are the things that I care about the most.
Yeah.
Um,
So the
oh,
bridge, bring the bridge in since we can't
Bridge is
conquer it.
fine. I think boarding in the Vault of Whispers is also not crazy.
Yeah. I'm not sure about Agent here. It's like they're unlikely to have much removal, so it's really good, but it only hits fetch lands.
Yeah, but Agent can just trade with a crappy body.
Yeah.
That's not the end of the world.
In general, this matchup should be really good, unless they're running like they can always run 4/4, so bigger 4 trophies, but depends on how much enchantment removal they have. But inherently, this is not that bad a matchup.
This one feels like a mulligan to me. We have the Overwhelming Splendor in hand, which is kind of a kick in the pants, and we also don't have a ley line.
Yeah, this is inherent. This is basically a Mulla 4, anyways. So uh, I think this
Yep.
is good enough. It's close.
We just pitched the second Trinisphere.
Yeah, because we're gonna need the second. I would keep the second ley line for Mox though.
Yeah.
Did we see any basics in game one?
don't think so. I don't remember though. I wasn't super paying attention to that. Why do you ask?
Because Field of Ruin being a cantripping strip mine is always nice if you have nothing better to do turn 3.
Okay. Our opponent made 4 power on turn 1. That's pretty good. I assume we're not casting Palaka Predation at all, so I think we're playing that tapped and then passing the
Yeah,
turn. Actually, maybe
I
we
think
want to,
if they had Force of Vigor, they'd probably already.
because of their we both discard cards, maybe I'm supposed to Chrome Mox Leyline this turn.
Yes, I can
It
see
it
that.
just makes Force of Vigor suck a lot more, but
Yeah,
I think I'm supposed to do it.
yeah, and they could have Force of Vigor in response to the Trinisphere next turn, anyways. Such is life.
Oh,
Yeah,
neat.
our Plague Engine is looking better and better.
Well, we just binned a Plague Engineer. We're taking 5 here, but getting a Soul Land at some point in the next turn or two will be really good.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah, that's what we wanted. Top decking like a boss.
Lol. So one, two,
That's
three,
right.
4, 5. That's Curse of Misfortune this turn.
Yeah.
Feels good.
I was about to say, like, you could also draw a Dark Ritual. It's not just a Soul Land. So counting up, we're going to take 9 this turn.
Then we're gonna take 3, maybe 4, potentially 5, but it's still not lethal.
Yeah, unless they have a whole bunch of root walls.
This is the cycle guy. Yeah, that's fine.
So, yeah, we should stabilize it too. And we went.
Yep. Play this tapped.
Yeah, so Plaka, of course, is draft chaff if just looking at it, but the ability for us to always hit our first few land drops has been really nice in my, at least in my experience.
The opponent was praising our deck. They're
Oh,
enjoying what's going
oh,
on,
thanks.
and we got the GG.
Their deck is pretty cool too. I have to.
All right, and we'll go back into it on the scoreboard. 2-0. Jiki Jiki in chat says that Palaka Predation is a pretty baller foil.
Oh, cool. I don't have my deck in paper to be honest because cities are expensive, and I only started Legacy recently. But I will definitely get lots of foils soon. I think Splendor. I don't know if anyone has it, but I feel like Splendor should look really baller in foil. Just really bright and shiny.
Yeah, Hellclan, believe it or not, we've put up really good records with curses on stream. Like, I think most of the time we 4-1'd with it. I think there was one league that I got dumpstered by Oko, but like that happens to every deck.
In my experience, uh, if it's not depths or if it's not like a crop rotation deck or like a blue deck, you're extremely favored in all your kind of fair non-blue decks and also your fair and your combo decks, which see a lot of play in these.
Yeah, all these sorts of snobby decks tend to just like absolutely bully the combo decks in different ways, but when you're starting with like chalices and trinispheres and such, It's pretty easy to stomp on people.
The only matchup that I would say is like absolutely horrible is depths, just because before opposition agent you basically didn't interact with lands at all, and they can ignore Transfere and Chalice. And then also Rug is definitely not. I don't think Rug is horrible, but Rug is definitely not favored just because your curve is so high.
Our hand is just really good, by the way. Just in
Yeah.
case you haven't realized it in chat, the ability to go turn 1 Trinisphere, turn 2 opposition agent is nutty. Turn 3 Karn.
And we have the Field of Ruin follow up.
Mm-hmm.
So I really want to Field of Ruin. I have not managed to do it yet.
Oh, and it's stuck. Nice.
So it's probably Bant Miracles.
Just play a fetch land and pass. Oh, pass. Damn it.
So I would just swamp. Again,
I
we got
think
the
we do it in their upkeep.
yes. I think denying them the third land and then stealing a land with this hand.
This could be a little awkward if they go like natural green land into Oko or something like that, but damn it, don't do it. Ah.
Oh, the punish!
Why did I say it? That was so unlikely.
Okay, we're gonna do it again. They're never gonna expect the second one.
All
Or do
right.
you want to get a card?
I don't know. Like we can just Karn minus go for Spyglass, and that's probably pretty good.
Definitely when we're ahead on board, that seems pretty good. I like it.
Brady, thank you very much for following. Hope you're enjoying the content here. Okay, that's really good. So I think we lead on the Spyglass and see what our opponent does with that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fuck.
I think you just name Oko, kill the food, and then in response to trophy, eliminate Oko.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Oh, they can't drown anything of ours anyways, but you know what I mean.
All right, are we attacking into known Ice Fang Coatl?
It doesn't have death touch.
Good point.
I think we want the mana from
I agree
Caverns.
with that. All right, so they're putting that in play so they can pressure the Karn.
Well, they can't until they trophy the Spyglass. Ooh, sad face.
Do it. Do it. Nice.
Yeah. Thanks for the land.
Nice. The line's actually pretty good here. Like, we definitely can use the mana over time.
Um, I don't know if it's correct, but I want to do agent plus field next turn in their upkeep,
Let's see.
or we could just, or we could just curse. But
Shouldn't we just curse while we basically know it's 100% resolve? Or wait, did they have two Assassin's Trophy? Did I cross this out yet?
I think that was the known assassin trophy.
Okay.
So yeah, you're right.
I,
That's
I should
probably
just resolve this.
yeah. Just do the Phil being a good pilot. What is this?
And I don't think they have Force of Will, because if they had Force of Will, they would have, like, protected their Oko. Oh, they could have Force of Negation, though. Alright, that's fair.
That's not the end of the world. I'm still in a good position. It's kind of annoying.
Okay.
So Karn is going to take 2 damage next turn.
Yeah, is there anything we want out of the sideboard badly enough to cash in the Karn? Like, do we want to just grab a Helm?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the helm. Is there any possible? But you could get a next turn if you're sure they don't have an Oko or something.
I don't feel like I'm sure. I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna grab this. I guess technically I should have attacked in to see if they do a chump block, but I think that's unlikely.
Yeah. So that's some Stompy pilots have not don't like haven't liked Karn in as much anymore. But that's the one really nice thing about having Leyline in my Karn deck is that you don't have to have board control for Karn to still win the game, just as an overcosted tutor.
That. Oh no, that's one short of lethal, isn't it?
Let's look at the math.
I have 8 mana.
So yeah, you could play everything, but then you lose to Oko.
Uh, I don't know that I'm supposed to play everything and lose to Oko. Is it just play Leyline and pass?
Yeah, and that also avoids tapping tombs, unless you want to represent agent.
Nah.
Okay. So that's how often how these games go. Is you make them have the third force, and sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. Uh, do we have enough mana to strip mine their last blue source
So it's one.
and still combo?
So it's 1, 2, 3 in order to opposition agent. Then it's 1, 2 this to activate it. That leaves us with not enough leftover mana to also like play Helm and combo off.
Field of Ruin does give you the land on tap though, so it's only -2 mana.
Yeah, but the agent costing 3 up front is rough here. So it's 1, 2, 3 for agent, 1, 2 plus tapping this. That leaves us with 4 total mana, which means that we could play Helm but not activate Helm. And then I'd be dead on board to the ice. Bang. No, I'd be dead on board to an Oko still.
Yeah, so I think you just play Helm and not tap your tombs, and that maybe you will top deck something.
Okay. So we'll activate it in their upkeep to better play around a removal spell.
Yeah. My thanks go out to all the D&T and elves.
All right. I think we activate for X=1 using. No, I guess opposition agent
Yeah, I
doesn't
think
really matter. Like
you
casting that.
activate. So you activate it for more if you want a creature for them or not, because they're going to remove the ley line. I think we don't want.
I
We
don't.
don't
I
want
don't think I want to
one.
tap these.
Yes. So I think one is correct because if they remove the ley line in their on our turn, if we don't hit a creature.
Oh, okay. We just win. Great.
Great. I was saying that my thanks go out to all those elves and D&D players making snow play board wipes.
All right. So it feels like we want eliminates and probably murderous riders for this.
Yeah, depends on how dirty you think they are. If they're banned, sometimes you can have too much removal because they're like just Okos. I'm not sure about the extra eliminates, but
Okay. Tell me what you would do.
some people are saying that this is the make them have it on one more trip, but in my experience, I win by just casting 3 must answers in a row. So I usually side out dark rituals for things that answer for must answer threats. So I really like bringing in that, and then things that answer Jason Oko. So I would bring in dark ritual out and 4 riders in helm in. You do to be kind of slower, but cast strong things turn after turn.
Okay. I can buy that.
There's definitely a very different approach of siding at removal and keeping in the dark rituals and just like jam turn 1 agent and hope it wins. But I don't know. I
Well, we
don't
have
know.
turn 1 agent anyway.
Yeah. So turn 1 agent into turn 2 car and hope it's good enough. There in the challenge on Saturday, there was a match where someone had 4 fetches and a force of negation. Opposite agent felt really good right there.
That's interesting. I think we ignore that second Drum Mox though.
Yeah, I did. Turn 1 card.
Turn 1 Karn's
That's
really good, but we're so soft to a Force of Will then.
Yeah, I think there's very unlikely that they're keeping a 7 without a force.
I think we Chrome Mox Murderous Rider and main phase opposition agent.
Yeah. As I said, I really like hands that make 3 big threats. So the idea is they'll probably force the agent and maybe they'll force the card, but then maybe we can get there with Helm plus line or something.
Opposition agent dodging Force of Negation is also like kind of big game too.
Yeah, obviously making that deck more vulnerable to plow is annoying, but Force of Negation is a very good card against me. So forcing them going down especially some Band Miracles lists are all 8 forces or something. So definitely a big game.
Kinda, we're casting the opposition agent at sorcery speed because our opponent has already showed us that they are going to play around that card at all costs. So we need to just resolve it and make sure that they can't play their second land drop and just like pass. And then if I cast opposition agent, they fetch in response. What do you think of? Do we just play Karn, or do we take the turn to Chalice?
So I don't think Chalice on 2 is very good against them. So the argument for Karn is just that you can double spell next turn.
Okay, I buy that.
The only question though is once if Karn resolves, but I would cast.
Yeah, we'll have that conversation if Karn resolves.
I
Like, I kind of want this card to get countered. Like, I would love for this to just be a like 4 mana you discard 2.
yeah. Unbad Mind Twist, you cowards, so we can just play that card. Um,
Yeah.
so now this is the question: do you want to play around to Oko? Because if you do, you want a plus. If you don't, you probably want a minus for coding and then chalice plus coding.
I'm gonna minus for coding. That just feels to me like a line that is going to result in my opponent being under a lot of pressure in one way or another.
They didn't have the Guadal. That's a great first step. Good old hasty 3 damage is annoying.
Okay, so now we get Spyglass instead.
You have your
Or
cake and eat it too.
just get Lattice and win, right? GG?
Yeah, I can't believe they would slow roll the Karn, right?
I agree.
This is considerably worse if they have the force, but I don't see why they would slow roll us.
Yeah, we got the GG. Very nice.
Nice. So that was kind of what I was saying, that I find the games I win are where you go 3 big hitters in a row, and hopefully they don't have the third.
Yeah, so the consistency that opposition agent adds is kind of a big deal because you really used to just be on like 8 good turn 1 plays, sometimes not even 8 if you weren't running the full 4 Chronospheres, and now you're on to like 11 good turn 1 plays, and that's pretty huge.
Yeah. Um, Leyline is extremely good for a 0, but it won't, except for a few decks, won't completely lock them out of the game. It's a it's it's a 0 mana answer to Uro, but it's not going to stop them from playing the game like a blood.
Yeah, it's different but comparable to something like a Thalia, where it is a thorn in their side, but it's not ending the game by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
Chat says Karn's the only sheriff this town needs. I don't know. We might need more fun police than just Karn. A lot of degenerate people out there who just want to cast good cards printed in the last 2 years. We might need more police.
Yeah, every time a GAC player complains about turn 1 Leyline plus Chalice, I was like, if you're playing something fair like Doug's Own Trade, you wouldn't mind. Or something.
Every time an Oko player loses, a puppy is brought back to life. Thanks again for doing your part. You're welcome, Zopmaster. You're welcome. Yeah, I enjoy playing against Oko in Vintage. Like that card is totally fine by those power level standards. Like I beat an Oko with I think it was 15 loyalty counters um, last month, and I don't think I've ever done something like that in Legacy.
Well, to be fair, we are already this year in Legacy. People showed that there is a certain two-mana enchantment that is much crazier than Oko.
Are we referring to such Legacy All Stars as Dystopia?
That is a 3 CMC enchantment.
Oops. Yeah, I mean, Oko's going for like largest ban list rack up of all time, probably. I don't know. I don't actually know this. I've never thought about it. Like, what card has been banned in the most formats?
Well, if you count the companion errata as a, this is 100% all of them.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Also, like Legacy Q, please.
I guess there's just no one else who's 2-0 right now.
I'll take anybody, man. Give me somebody from the '04 bracket. I will bully them. I'm ready. High Star, I don't play Dredge. I play Vintage Hogak. So they're similar. Like they're cut from the same cloth. They're both bizarre decks, but they're fundamentally different.
I guess with Oko, there's only a 3-drop you can cast off of Black Lotus can only be so busted.
Nope.
Yeah, I think that's acceptable at a 6.
I think we're just pitching a swamp here.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I was recently doing my homework for this, and someone's asking that question. I was doing my homework and looking up all the decks in Legacy that don't play any basics. I think it's about 15% or so right now. Rug plus Dredge plus a few other gag and depthless.
Jiggy, thank you very much for the continued support. You're up to 6 months now. Glad you've been enjoying the content for so long. There'll be some fun stuff over the next couple of weeks. I have some plans, and I'm hoping to pound out some extra videos over Christmas break. Got a got a few ideas for some YouTube Direct stuff. Okay. I see. I understand. Okay, so our opponent has revealed Chancellor, and I am on the play. I think we just go Swamp Pass and then play Chalice on one next turn.
Yeah, I don't think Chasten's so.
Yeah, Kiki Jiki. Like I love it when people invest in the Magic community in one way or another, and supporting some of your favorite content creators is a great way to like make sure that people stay invested in the game and motivated about the game. Best friend Tabitha, thank you very much for the continued support as well.
Opposition Agent is also quite nasty against Entomb.
Yeah, I would expect to win this matchup a good portion of the time.
Mm-hmm. I beat it twice in my last league.
Main phase Entomb. I don't know,
That
do they have
probably
it?
means we're dead.
That probably means we're dead. All right. Concede in the face of a discard spell, or can we potentially beat this?
Um, if they have discard spell, we concede. Technic, there's like an outside chance. I have resolved curses with a Grizzleband on the table before, but even in that case, they usually have the Ashen Rider. So I think we can just, I guess we can see if they have the Children combo, but we can see to any discard.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, we probably can concede now.
Yeah, I am comfortable conceding to 14 more cards there.
What's the math professor term? Winning is left as an exercise for the reader.
Okay, so we're really kind of suited for this matchup in the first place. So I don't think we want eliminates in the deck,
Yeah, but other than that, the
but
deck's pretty
most of
great.
the rest of the deck is just like targeted to beat this. What do
The only
you?
thing is actually casting predation is a little risky in this because of the CMC restriction. So
Yes,
there are a lot of hands where the only thing you can
that's a land or Chrome Mox food.
yeah. So but I think basically eliminates for Spyglass and Helm. Just
Yeah,
this is one of the few matchups where a fair Helm is as a bribery. So I think it's fine to leave in the main deck. The only consideration would be if you think Karn is too slow, and maybe.
yeah. On the draw, Karn is a little rough, but Karn being four different copies of Ensnaring Bridge instead of one is kind of big game.
Mm. So you can use predation to check for reverent silence, but it is very risky.
Yeah, I don't see myself basically ever wanting to do that. Like there might be a corner case scenario, but the risk is brutal.
The Ikoria version of that card with cycling instead of being a land does exile, but this one does not. But being a land is just way better than cycling.
Yeah, I think Palaka Predation is really good in this deck. I'm not convinced that the red one is all that good in Red Prison. That card just dealt me a lot of damage.
Yeah, it'd be a closer equivalent to Valakut Awaken, but that might be too slow for Red Prison.
What are your thoughts on this one? I lean towards keep.
Yeah, I think it's quite good against if they're keeping a hand based on Reverend Silence. But it's not like the nuts, but it's definitely better than average.
Alright, so they've kept no Chancellor.
Um,
Do we put Chromox Palaka Predation in on turn one? To just play around discard?
yeah, and I guess it also saves 2 life, which might be relevant. Maybe.
Hey Arkin, welcome. Yeah, we're 2-0 with curses right now, although we're down a game in this match. Yeah. Ooh, hard discard? Hard discard.
Um, so it looks like they're going for a zoom line.
Okay. I think we're gonna Sorcerer Spyglass and probably name a land. We'll see based on their hand. But then we probably Dark Ritual, put the Helm into play, and then start activating that, digging for one of their creatures.
Yeah, the Dark Ritual, of course, is dead,
Oh shit.
um, but such is life.
Yeah, I think we have to Spyglass this turn though.
Just for pet risk of petal, right? Oh, I
Yes.
guess, and also if you hit the land.
Yeah, hitting a land is huge.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so they have too many lands for us to name one, so I think we're just naming Grizzlebrand.
Yeah, so they're gonna get a Grizzleband next turn. So it's just a 7/7, I think, right?
Just yeah, it's real unfortunate that they have the pedal here.
Yeah, that seems like to me that seems a relatively risky hand against a Chalice Leyline deck, but yes, we mind game this. Um, and now we just play Helm and hope we find something good.
I would like to make my own Grizzlebrand.
Yes. We're gonna die very quickly, but we do have quite a few live draws.
Yeah, we can also just like draw a ley line and then win.
I think looking at their hand, it's not worth that.
Yeah, I think we're just passing the turn and putting all our mana into this during combat.
Yeah. Only question is Chalice on 0, but I think for us, then the look them. Fire all you got.
Go! Nope.
Nope.
Try again next turn.
Yes.
For 2. For 3.
Yep.
Alright. No, I think on the play, keeping a hand that produces a Chalice on 1 on turn 1, followed by a secondary hate piece, is just fine.
Yeah, also the fact that they didn't well extend me, I think they just had the Reverend Sounds.
I'm gonna sacrifice it, and you can't stop me.
Yeah.
Alright. We got a creature off the helm. Really, that's what Magic is all about.
Uh, losing, beating Oko and losing to Reanimator as the Leyline deck is funny, but such is life.
Yeah, but if you look at the cards here, like, I am so not worried about that matchup. Like, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 main deck cards that can come down on turn 1 that win the matchup most of the time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then it doesn't really change much for the post sideboard games. You just pull out 2 bad cards. But like even Karn, if you're like on the play, Karn for bridge often beats that too. Like the deck's
Yeah,
well positioned.
I actually when I first started playing, the matchup was so good that I wasn't worth the sideboard slot. So if you have a lot of reanimator, you can make the deck even better. No idea.
Eh.
I really like this hand versus Delver. So I think bet.
Is this a hand that I just keep and I'm disappointed about it? Like,
Yeah, it's
Dark Ritual makes it really good. A Mox makes it okay. Eh.
yeah, I think we just keep it and really hope this is a fair deck. Not
Oh, yeah, just yes.
yeah. Yes. Go ahead.
Fuck!
That's not good.
What a roller coaster of emotion. Um, our hand is
Go ahead.
pretty bad against another Stompy deck now. We basically have 2 lands and 1 medium quality card.
Yeah. Yeah. This is how sometimes it be in the stomping mirror.
That's okay. If they don't have like a Chandra or something, we're fine here. If they do, we're pretty dead.
Yeah, any planeswalk here is pretty rough.
Well, specifically,
This cat marks.
Chandra being a 4 drop and avoiding eliminate is rough. Oh, yes.
That's us.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
What's under there? Is that Blood Moon? The Blood Moon.
Uh,
Pick.
Field of Ruin is gets rid of one of their mana.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. Like 1 is a big deal if they're Chrome Moxing.
Yeah.
That suggests playing our own Trinisphere in a show of dominance. I really respect that line.
When
Deal.
deal, we have absolutely nothing in our hand. Uh, I don't think it's worth playing that. Really.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't actually do anything, does it?
There's like an outside chance if you don't play it that you'll. So I think.
I'm just gonna cast my own Trinisphere in case we get a Karn later.
Yep. The 3/3 attacker often relevant in the card mirror. Okay.
Yes, that's fine.
Hey, rewarded for my play.
Just gonna keep casting 3 balls.
This is the stopping thing of who draws their finisher first.
It was the opponent. They drew it first.
Yeah, so we need Grow Reality right.
We don't actually need it right now. They only have 4 mana.
Starting to look sketchier.
Uh, do I cast a Chalice on 3? That seems pretty good, right? It cuts off our opposition agents and Palaka Predation.
What are you trying to hit? Bridge?
uh, Blood Moon, Blood Sun, Magus, Rabblemaster, Legion Warboss, depending on what their build is like.
Oh, I guess yeah, or eliminates cutoff. I can yeah, I can see that.
It's a little weird because like opposition agent is a way to get the spirit guide out of the way, but we're like so not losing to that card. We're just gonna lose
Yeah,
to
it
this
does cut
Karn.
off Plaka taking the. That is pretty
Oh,
annoying.
Palaka taking the lattice is real. Hmm. Is this right?
No. I think Plaka taking the lattice is more relevant
Okay.
than any of the 3 drops. Like I can see arguments either way, but
Yeah, okay. I guess the Chalice gets plus by Karn anyway, so
Yeah, if it is relevant. Of course, we just lose to Soul End.
yep.
That's how it be.
Did you miscount or do you actually have a 5 drop? Oh, Spirit Guide. All right.
Yeah. What?
Have the lattice in hand. Are you afraid of double agent?
The mythical double agent. I have gotten it. I have gotten a Blista.
Okay. Yeah.
That was kind of a weird order. So,
Yeah.
so
We just did not draw a relevant card. Just period. That's okay.
yep.
That's how these prison mirrors are many times.
So why I think I'm pretty favored in some my Leyland, so I can side out more, have more sideboard card.
All
So
right.
you just take out the Trisphere. Um, Depends on how much you value the 3/2 flash of opposition agent, but I would consider taking those out as well for just a chunk or
So what are we doing? Like engineers in, murderous riders in.
yeah, you just have so much blank text. I would
Do
just
you board in any of these tutor targets?
um Helm and Spyglass are considerations. If you really depends how much I don't do you like I guess the question is do you think they're running around?
It's really hard to know how aggressive their deck is.
So if they're not running Ravels, I just don't do a ton. So I would just take them out for Helm. But if they are running Ravels, then I would cut agents for more eliminates. Because opposition agent is just a hired blade in this match.
Um, do you want to submit like this for this match, and then if we go to a game 3, adjust, or do you want to just board agent out and hedge?
Yeah, well, how about we take 2 agents out for the Spyglass and the Bridge? So the Spyglass and the Helm.
I like that.
And and then in this matchup card is just a land destruction machine or a bridge. So we get to get rid of all those dead draws we had last game. Uh,
This is probably fine, right? Like this still makes a turn 2 Karn.
yeah, turn 2 Karn and a sort of answer if they have a fast Karn. I think it's fine.
This hand's so good if they play a Mox. Like,
Now they, and even if they kept in their chalices, it's not the end
I guess this is really awkward if I get Blood Mooned, isn't it?
though. Hello. Yeah. Um, I was just um,
Okay, I think Reeplcheep had to step away for a moment. So I can still Karn this turn, but the Karn is considerably less good once the Rabble Master is in play. So I think I'm just looking at removing that this turn, but it's super awkward to use a Dark Ritual to just like play a Murderous Rider. I just go Swamp, Dark Ritual, Murderous Rider, kill Rabble Master, a 1/1 token is in play. Next turn I get Karn. Yeah, I think this is just an example of like taking a line that doesn't really look all that good on paper, but is probably what is correct to do. It's just a little rough if my opponent has that. Man, that's so good against this hand. That's a 2-for-1 that also saves their Chrome Mox.
You understand? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I just had.
Oh, real life happens. It's fine. So we ended up using our Dark Ritual, unfortunately, to kill a Goblin Rabblemaster. And our Karns have now been Spyglassed.
Yeah. The legendary mana fixing use. Okay. That's
Uh,
a null rod.
uh, yeah.
So I think we just play Lourdes Rider.
All right, real talk though. Do I still attack the Karn?
Uh, I think they have to be pretty galaxy
Okay.
to abrade their own spyglass.
If it happens though, I was thinking about it. Let the record show.
Okay, and now we see the 3/2 flash beats.
There is also an argument to play the Karn. It denies them 1 mana.
But what do they have that's 7 but not 6 mana?
Well, if we take them off this, they only have 5. So we could potentially be taking them off of Chandra Awakened Inferno.
Oh, like you're thinking about top deck Chandra.
Yeah.
Chandra has like do 3 damage to everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. So play your own card. And that also, I guess, plays around the abrade your own
I don't know. I
spyglass.
guess they don't have it. They don't have it now because they would have been able to cast it. I'm actually not going to do that. I'm just going to play the opposition agent. I talked myself out of it.
Although if they did have, they were going for the braid your own spyglass line, that would be like
Yep.
3 million IQ
Yep.
plays. Did we?
Yep.
Oh,
That was the lag of my opponent conceding. Okay, now we know that Rebel Masters are indeed in the deck. Do you want the eliminates?
yeah. I think if Grandmaster's in they're better than the agents. Just because the eliminates handle Rabble Master clean agent at least does something against Chandra.
This hand's okay. I think we probably keep it. I don't think it's exciting.
Yeah, I think it's fine. This is definitely one of the hands where instead of to the slaughter is looking a little awkward, but Murder Strider was really good as an extra threat last turn. So
Yeah, I think we're just looking to eliminate the first threat and then hopefully resolve a curse.
yeah, if we draw the second blast course, it's quite possible.
Oh, please don't have Karn. Fuck.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're stone cold dead to that, I think.
Um,
Like the Chrome Mox is off. I don't have colored mana.
we need exactly Swamp Dark Ritual.
Yep. We didn't get it.
Yeah, I think that the turn one stompy decides a lot of turn one thing designs a lot of matchups.
Yeah, the fact that this is a tapped land also pretty rough there.
Yeah.
All right, much quicker pairing. Let's see if we can pull this back to a 3-2 finish.
Mhm.
This looks good to me. I think we're putting the leyline under Chrome Mox and playing turn one opposition agent. What do you think?
Yep. Yeah, it just depends if you want to go for the blowout or not. Don't
I
think
think
so.
I'm just main phasing it.
Yeah. I think that so far, I think you're right that if it's like turn one or two and two, yes. Treating it as a Magus of the Moon on turn makes sense, but the later in the game, probably a more chance to go for a blowout.
All right, I haven't snipped one of these yet. I'm gonna just snip one for Twitter clout purposes.
Well, it appears that you're not going just playing a turn one line worked out.
Okay, so we are probably playing against a fetch land deck. That is very, very likely. Do you want to sideboard anything at all?
Um, yeah, the type of decks that would concede to that are not. So I don't think we can really decide to sideboard anything.
Very well. We don't have any more opposition agents to bring in, so we'll just whack the submit button.
Yeah. I think that's just we just run it back. Concedes to turn one ley line tell you a little, but this one doesn't tell you much. Anyone could have kept it off edge hand, land hand, except death and taxes, I guess.
Um, do we keep?
Blind.
Cat says there's a chance opponent might be Doomsday.
Yes, but I kind of cut all the combo hate from the sidebar. Uh,
So this hand is okay. Blind a turn two Karn is like a very reasonable reason to keep a hand. It also gets vastly improved by a Dark Ritual or Chalice of the Void.
yeah, I think this is acceptable. Um, if they're unfair, either turn two predation or turn two Karn should be good enough. Death Shadow. And if it's fair, at least we have a stable mana base. What? Oh, it is
It's
Doomsday.
Doomsday.
Oh man. Uh, so I did an experiment. So I think you just play Tomb and you
And then we just hope that they can't go black land into just cast Doomsday. Because that's the thing that beats us here. Yep.
yeah, just had it. I don't think that meant they could keep us bad.
No, I mean they had the nuts. Like if we get one more turn, that Lotus Petal is no longer live, and then we can Karn minus,
You
which
could also just
gets
have discarded the Doomsday. There's lots of options. So there's nothing that we can do that if they have another land, nothing beats cycle stuff. So is there anything we can beat that has a pile that requires
Block of Predation probably stops nothing, right?
at this point, if they had a street wraith, I think they would have used.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. I am going to jam this card.
and hope. Yeah, I think we just jam the Karn and get coding and hope they had a pile with not too many lands and lots.
Rude.
Don't think we're ever beating turn two combo with these.
Yeah, agreed.
Just on the draw.
Oh,
What?
we're getting another turn. That's interesting. Not that it matters, because we don't have a good follow-up play.
So assuming they have cycle.
Well, now they just play, like, land plus Thassa's Oracle, and that beats us.
Yeah. So I assume that they didn't kill us because they dazed.
Yeah.
I guess black of information. Yeah, I think we're pretty screwed.
I'm gonna
The
take a...
card did. Yeah, I was running one Tarpor in the sideboard point, but Doomsday doesn't seem to be as popular as it used to be. It's kind of there was a fad like a month ago.
Oh, okay, they still have Edge of Autumn. Okay, so we are deterministically dead as long as they didn't forget Thassa's Oracle in their pile.
Was their pile triple days? No, they had 1 days. Yeah, I don't think we're ever beating turn two combo with 3 days.
Yeah, no.
That's pretty good.
So taking a quick look at what they have, looks like there's two abrades as things that answer our stuff. Not much else of note.
Okay.
There's not really much in our sideboard for this, right?
No, it's just without agent. I see.
All right, so our eliminates have no text in this, really, so those should come out.
So Helm is worth bringing in. I think.
And Spyglass in?
Uh, is that better than just a land?
Unsure. It's close.
It's like it stops a few cyclers. That's about it.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
I would be looking at it more as like another turn one play that can mise a fetch land or something.
Oh, just as a sketchy land single.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah. I thought you were thinking it from like Street Wraith point of view.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think it's this. Is there anything else you want to change?
Um, I was just thinking that actually in this matchup, predation actually has is we kind of want to use the spell side a little bit more than normal. So maybe do with the land.
Okay. Do we want to board out
I
like
think we
a curse?
yeah, Deathful does nothing.
Because we can just like cast the overwhelm. Like once the overwhelming splendor is in play, they can't combo off.
Yeah, there's no way they're producing more than one creature a turn.
Okay.
At least the mentor sideboard plan is not right. So
Yes, I would like to play first. Awkward.
this is a very awkward hand. So Field Room again, remember, is a force shuffle. So even if they turn to Doomsday before we can agent, we possibly could screw them
Well,
up.
we only have one black card, so we'd be pitching Agent to play Chalice on turn one.
No, I was saying just treating the Chromox as a dark ceiling good.
I see.
Uh,
I almost think this one's a mulligan. What do you think? I want to be
So,
doing something on turn one because of days. And like we can turn one chalice, but then this hand is dead.
well, Helm and Field of Ruin are all played in the pile because if you Helm the Oracle, they lose, and you have 2 force shuffles.
You want to keep this?
I think keep it, but just accept you have to get rid of the agent.
All right.
I think
I would have mulliganed this hand. We'll see if it works out.
we'll see. I haven't played against Doomsday enough for the new list to really how Field plays. So unless they put a lot of lands in their pile, Field of Ruin should be a strip mine that way.
Yeah. And I think we just Field of Ruin on our turn.
Uh,
I don't want to like give them the opportunity to like brainstorm.
yeah. Yeah, if they have a land in hand, plus you don't want them to put the basic back in their deck.
An
I
edge
think
of
Field of
an
Ruin.
edge of autumn in hand would be really awkward. But that's pretty unlikely.
That is a good thing to consider, but I think you're right. It's just a one of. But it's much better Edge of Autumn when it's tapped. If they do have the Edge of Autumn, we'd rather the Underground Sea be tapped than not.
GG, I'm not actually sure that we've lost this one.
They need a lot of basic lands to be able to actually, unless they're going for an LED line. But going for an LED line versus a Karn deck is kind of awkward, is risky.
All right, I'm gonna step away for 2 seconds and grab some water. I think our opponent is pretty deep in the tank.
And I think it's very unlikely they play because our most likely land destruction is Liquid Mountain Gold.
All right, I was correct. They are still in the tank. They've got a weird
Because
number
they
of things to play around here.
because they need a like 3 basic lands or something. They're not going for an LED line.
Yeah, so they need blue plus Oracle.
How many basic lands do they play? Because you might be able to count. Well, we have no other option anyways.
Yeah,
So
I mean, yeah,
there's no
our
point thinking.
our line is 100% forced. So
So this is the one situation where it's significantly better than Wasteland. Okay, did you put an island in your pile?
they did not.
Okay. And it's also shuffled, which is even better. The island in their hand. Oh, they have the battle. Uh, I think.
Now we're just playing Helm and killing them next turn.
Well, it depends where the Street Wraith is, but yeah, I think we try our luck.
All right.
If you don't shuffle it, usually they put it and you can snag it in response to a cycle. But with the shuffle, you just gotta get. There's a street wraith on top, you lose. Otherwise, you win.
Yeah, if they can like cycle and then play Oracle or something like that, bad news for me.
I think we're like a 30% to win. Okay.
Yeah, that just wins, right? There's no world in which that doesn't.
What doesn't? What wins?
Just activate Helm and mill them out.
If it hits the street wraith before the oracle.
Okay.
So I would wait till their upkeep for brainstorm reasons. But you just fire everything and hope it's good enough.
Fire the cannon. Here we go. No! God damn it.
That was a very fun league.
That was a great league. The highest highs and the lowest lows. So, moral of the story here is don't play curses unless you're lucky. uh, yeah, so tonight we were in a number of situations where if things worked out like ever so slightly differently, our results ended up being much, much better. So the the Street Wraith was a part of a pile and was not drawn yet and was above Oracle. That was a bad series of things to occur. And our opponent also got blue blue post shuffle. So like, eh, I I accept my death with grace.
Yeah, and there's no reason not to activate it because if the oracle top, you lose anyways. So
Yep.
it just 50-50.
All right. The deck list seemed fine. I don't think I would make any changes to the deck if I were going to run it through another league.
Yeah, I guess the biggest change this one was Field Ruin, but it seemed to perform pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it was very, very relevant in this round. And if our opponent had, like, say, another Underground Sea instead of an island, the second one would have been relevant as well.
And then Stompy, it was moderately relevant.
All right.
Killing the tomb. Yeah.
Well,
That's it.
Reeplcheep, thank you very much for joining me tonight. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I really enjoy doing this.
So for those of you on YouTube who watched it and made it this far, please consider that whole like, comment, subscribe sort of stuff. It very much helps people find these videos and boosts my metric and that sort of stuff. And for those of you who are watching this on Twitch, if you're enjoying my content, please consider doing something to support that, whether that's, just retweeting me when I'm going live or doing something financial like a donation deck list or subscribing to the channel.